We do this segment called Road to Stonewall, and we've got a very amazing one tonight. Watch this on our Road to Stonewall.
Ooh, cilantro.
I'm Dan Savage. When I heard about gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender teens taking their own lives after being bullied, my partner Terry and I decided to post a video online to let them know it gets better. You have to live your life so that you're around for it to get amazing, and it can and it will. Who knew a single video would turn into a worldwide movement? There are now over 40,000 videos posted online with over 50 million views.
And every day, it gets better.
And the best part is, it's making a difference.
And what the It Gets Better Project did was it brought that down. It utterly and completely, and I believe irrevocably, destroyed the idea that LGBT adults can't talk to LGBT kids.
There were no gay people in my family and no openly gay people at my school, but I was picked on because, I liked musicals and I was obviously gay. If there are 14 and 15 and 16-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds out there watching this video, what I'd love you to take away from it really is that it gets better.
LGBT kids are 4 times likelier to attempt suicide. LGBT kids whose families are hostile or reject them are 8 times likelier. And what the It Gets Better Project did is it empowered LGBT adults everywhere to talk to these kids. The ultimate achievement is that it saved lives. We know for a fact that the It Gets Better Project has saved the lives of LGBT teenagers.
Every once in a while I see some new iteration of LGBTQ, blah, 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 and I don't know what the letter stands for.
You just upset the blah, 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 blah community just now.
Yeah.
Really?
Lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, leather fetish, two-spirited. It's just like there are lots of people under our umbrella. I'm always telling people who say 2 men can't make a baby, anything is possible for God. Like, I'm going to keep inseminating my husband and keep my fingers crossed. Whenever someone says that being gay or lesbian is a choice, I always look at them and say, okay, prove it, choose it. If it's something that you can choose, if you can reach into your head and flip a switch and be gay or lesbian or bisexual, then flip that switch and show us how it's done. But like so many, I'm looking to the rallies, I'm looking to the vigils, I'm looking to the support, starting in the office of the president on down all through the culture and all through society for the victims and also for the LGBT community and taking strength from that. It gets better.
You are not alone.
It has helped countless insecure boys and girls become confident men and women.
And thank everybody who has ever made an It Gets Better video, because you have made a difference in somebody's life.
Well, on week, the civil rights movement of the gay community in America.
Krishna's really...
We're still eating.
The vegetarian community throws you out.
All right.
Yeah,
Try to concentrate, everybody. All right, June 30th weekend. World Pride, the celebration of Stonewall in New York, and every week we celebrate a gay icon. And as you can see, we're celebrating Dan Savage, who created the It's Getting Better project. Now, how we celebrate our gay icon is telling you a little bit more about them and giving you a quote of some of the interesting things that they've said. Tonight is no different. And we'll begin with Power.
Well, of special interest to It's Happening Out is the fact that Dan Savage has always been pro-pornography. Savage coordinates the annual Hump Pornography Festival, which is made up of clips of up to 5 minutes on any pornographic topic submitted by viewers. And so Dan, if you are watching, feel free to be a guest at our own little pornography festival, PornCon, coming Labor Day weekend. Shameless plug. Yeah. So Dan Savage's quote, and my favorite, I think the best thing for you to do is just live. Just live your life. Live a life that is worth living. One where you do what you want to do. Pursue your passions. That way, if you meet someone, they'll be joining a life that's already really good.
Nice. Aaron, tell us about Dan Savage.
Couldn't tell if that aftertaste was from the iguana or from Dan Savage.
I heard he's big.
Listen.
Wow.
Listen. So Road to Stonewall is an amazing segment, and we have honored a lot of really important people, and I think it's amazing the awareness that it's brought. However,
And also Madonna.
this is the one time, even with Madonna, this is the one time I can't support our Road to Stonewall icon. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to use the power of protest on this one.
Okay, and explain to us why.
He has a long history, and granted, it seems he's getting kind of better about it, no pun intended. But he has a long, long history of transphobia and of biphobia and of anti-blackness. I said recently, it's not, the opposite of racist is not racist. The opposite is anti-racist. I can't support that. I can't support him. He blamed the black community for Proposition 8, which was not only factually wrong, but just morally wrong. And the transgressions he's made against the trans community and the bisexual community that he refuses to apologize for or own up to really in any way other than to pass the buck off to other people and to be defensive. It's not a real apology, and I can't accept it.
I have to say, on behalf of the show, whether the other hosts agree with you or disagree with you, this is the first time we've heard this. This is the first time that this has happened in our Road to Stonewall salute. And I would say broadly, whether I agree with you or not, I'm not really sure. I've got to read more about your observations on Dan Savage. But the one thing that I would say that is beautiful about this moment is if the gay community is going to celebrate gay icons and our road to Stonewall, we have to be able to celebrate diversity of opinion. And of course, I completely embrace what you just did. If for no other reason that we're proud to be associated with our celebration of the Stonewall riots in that people have different opinions.
And I'm very proud of Aaron for the fact that it took a lot of courage to break tradition here on the show and say, you know, at this time I'm going to do something different and I don't give a damn. So
love you, sister.
Nice.
Listen, I've bitten my tongue through a few, but this one.
Wait, you've disliked things before?
No, this has never happened.
Here and there.
Josie, what do you have to say about Dan Savage?
Okay, so thank you, Aaron, for stepping in there and choosing to protest. I was, when we talk about gay icons, and you guys mentioned Dan Savage, and that was who we were going to recognize this week, I thought to myself, okay, Dan Savage, but the thing that stood out for me, and this is what I think is why we are able to celebrate him this week, is, Dan Savage took a stand for LGBT youth and created the It Gets Better project, video project. And in that video project, it was created to combat bullying and also to prevent LGBT teen suicides, which I think, maybe he needs to get some things right. And I'm gonna get with you offline because I'd like to know more. Okay, and so thank you for sharing and broadening my own knowledge
and starting the conversation in the chat.
Yeah, and so thank you. And that being said, we all do good and bad things.
Absolutely.
And
I talk about duality all the time.
Yeah. So Dan Savage said, "The right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness means that each of us is free to grow our own way, even if the ways some of us may choose to go seem sinful or shocking to our fellow citizens."
Nice. Carlos, Dan Savage.
Well, I know you guys know me as a fashion designer, but I'm a frustrated actor.
I thought you were going to say a frustrated femtop.
That's just a shirt right now. We have a little ascot going on.
Dan Savage is a theater director. He founded the Seattle's Greek Active Theater. Much of the theater's pieces are queer interpretations of classics like Macbeth, played by performers of the opposite sex. which I thought it was kind of cool. And the one thing that I wanted to, the quote that I wanted to pick was piggybacking. Oh, how do we say it again? Piggybacking. Whatever. On Major Pete. Because I love the fact that he talks about the Bible and we need to claim Christianity back. And Dan Savage said, the Bible is only as good and decent as the person who reads it.
Ooh, nice. Napoleon.
Speaking on taking things back, that was actually a point of view of Dan Savage. And since you took the fetish thing and you took the theater thing, trying to step in on me, I'm going to come in some fashionable DJ diva thing next week. You two. No, he started, and this is the break that he had for his career, he started a column where he gave fake advice to heterosexual people in the way that a lot of advice columns gave clueless advice to gay people that wrote in. And he started each column with, "Hey, faggot," to help reclaim the word, just like you said. And that went on to do a lot of things. I think that the title of the column was called Savage Love, and I think it even inspired a piece by Sam Shepard called Savage Love.
As far as I know,
yeah. Alrighty. So it was a big break, and it was a big thing for what he did. I'm also one of those people super curious to learn more about that because I didn't know him as a controversial figure, but I really have loved this guy for a long time, and some of the work that he's done with these other projects.
And a quote.
Oh, and the quote. My dad was the homicide cop in the gay neighborhood in the city when gay neighborhoods were desperate, depressing, sad places run by the mob. The only gay people he'd ever met when I came out to him were corpses.
Well, I think, to me, I have to say, I love this Road to Stonewall salute.
Yeah.
Because it's not crystal clear. I love the jagged edge of what unveils in this conversation. I love that. The one thing I would say about Dan Savage is even if he had done nothing else, but it gets better, hundreds of millions of views of people being challenged to remember that times will improve. And as a result, he becomes a gay icon on our road to Stonewall because a long time, more than a decade ahead of a Mayor Pete, he challenged young Americans to say it will get better. And that maybe, in a way, helps set the groundwork for a Mayor Pete to be able to do what we saw this week. And if for no other reason, to me, that qualifies as a justification to celebrate his role in the Stonewall March and our run to Stonewall. So our icon of the week, Dan Savage.
Thanks so much for watching us. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook.